Like I say, so much of what's going to happen over the next 3 weeks or so is going to be a function of the elections, but not just the presidential election, the cratering of Donald Trump has and is opening up opportunities in terms of, 3 weeks ago we were talking about Ohio is off the table probably. Now, it's very good reason to believe that Ohio is off the table in terms of the Senate, but not in terms of the presidential campaign. But but Pennsylvania now, to me, looks like he's in trouble.
It is a war between the weak-willed, fake Republicans who will not fight and those who stand with Donald Trump and persecuting Hillary Clinton, who is the greatest criminal mastermind in the history of the world.
What we saw like on Sunday or Monday was what we were joking about. On Monday, we saw what we were joking about Sunday night, which was, and Cliff and I touched on this, was that the performance of Donald Trump in the debate was just good enough to freeze all those Republicans who were clearly trying to, and let me just put a little asterisk next to good enough so that I can explain this. You had on Friday and Saturday at least a dozen, maybe 18 senators who had basically backed off Trump. Guys like John McCain, I can't support him, or Jason Chaffetz, in the House, like I can't. And then the debate was completely geared towards the Republican primary base. And he basically just edified that again. And it froze all these Republicans. And there's stories now out how like Paul Ryan and everybody was ready on Monday to say we're cutting him loose. And instead, Paul Ryan got onto a phone call with his caucus and said, okay, I'm not defending him anymore. I'm not involved in the campaign. And then had to get back onto the call to say, but I'm not unendorsing him. So we saw the rescindment of rescindments.
I think we all know what we can grab Paul Ryan by, if you know what I'm saying.
And we're not done yet. Like I'm starting to see pieces now where you're starting to see like the Gateway Pundit, just some like right-wing sewer site. Yeah, no, they were bigger back in the I can't remember what they called them. They were the like the basement warriors or whatever it was, like the pro-war bloggers back in the day.
We support destroying Iraq from our basements.
Exactly.
We advocate for war crimes in our pajamas.
But they're now saying there's a story, and it's all just like sort of rumor stuff. And it doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever that this would happen. But their story is, okay, so you got quotes like in the Washington Post, it's every person for himself or herself. Now, you know that's from...
Free market.
You know that's not from an elected Republican official. Herself. Right, the herself. That's the giveaway. That's from someone who is like a never Trumper, like, oh, we've got to be very careful here. Es alguna persona por...
Plata or polvo.
Then just trying to... and then, so this is a Gateway Pundit. This is the story they put. Rumblings. Top Paul Ryan advisor leaked the Trump sex talk tape to Washington Post. Now, of course, it's like, why would Paul Ryan, like, what can I do to make this as difficult as possible for me? I know. Let's leak this tape so that I get my conservative. I mean,
Patron, I have not retracted my endorsement. Okay, but you're not going to campaign for me? But you still endorse me. I must be really stupid to not understand what you're trying to say there, Paul. I must be some sort of moron, right? I mean, that's what you're saying. Patron.
Robert Costa, who does all the reporting with the Republican Party.
The Post guy, right?
Yeah, he came from the sort of right-wing media, and sort of, and my guess is usually what happens with these guys is that like, you know, you got to give him like another like 3 or 4 years, and he'll be a diarist at Daily Kos. Like they just once they start drifting away from the right.
Giving him a nice career trajectory.
Well,
there.
no, I mean, putting aside the career aspect of it, I guess. But I'm just saying in terms of like politics, like when they start to like get some distance, like, oh my God, these people I've been hanging out with, they're insane, you know. But he tweeted, in calls this morning, many Republicans privately want to defect from Trump, but they say the debate gave them pause since he roused their base.
He won the Republican primary again.
Exactly. Meanwhile, Trump, and he wrote this yesterday, tweeted, Trump circle gloating, privately mocking elected Republicans who are agonizing. One laughed and said, we don't care. And then this is funny from like the New York Times, Jonathan Martin. News, at Speaker Ryan just came back on call to clarify to angry members he is not unendorsing Trump. It is just so fantastic. And I will say this, that I think we're days away. Ryan still is putting out stories like still reserving the right to unendorse Trump. And maybe I went a little overboard, but I was just so excited about this tweet that I had in June based upon my neighbor. Did I talk about this already?
Yes.
Okay. So I sent that out. Yeah. I'm just, there's so few things that where I can really gloat about.
Like, Patron, Paul Ryan was seen in Cali.
Exactly.
He was talking with the Ochoa brothers.
So.
See? What's that? More meatloaf.
So he's out there now. I mean, he's on full.
Where's
like,
Tiffany? I want to
scorched earth. Hey, it's Sam Seder. Why don't you subscribe to this channel? You can do so right over here. Over. Subscribe.